Okay, well, let's get more now, and we can speak to Cecile Coquet Mokoko, who is a professor of American civilization at Versailles, Saint-Quentin University. Thank you very much indeed for speaking to us, Professor. I mean, just looking at that report, I mean, a real sense of déjà vu, and very hard for people here in Europe to understand why the authorities would respond to someone who was having a mental health crisis, for whom an ambulance had been called, by shooting him or her. I mean, what's your reaction to those developments?
Yes, sadly, it's not the first time that this has happened, and it does not also happen only to Black patients who suffer from bipolar disorders or other mental health issues. Um, I think that there is a structural problem here, which is sadly again exemplified by this shooting of Mr. Wallace, which is that when there is erratic behavior or suspect behavior, people tend to call 911. In this case, it was for an ambulance, but often even the families can call 911 for support. And unfortunately, their call is taken by the nearest patrol. And the officers on these patrols are not equipped to de-escalate such types of situations. Hence, the many calls on the part of Black Lives Matter activists to defund police, meaning that they want some of the funding to be redirected towards equipment or people who would be actually capable of handling situations such as these, instead of having policemen who are trained to shoot and who in this case were not even equipped with tasers. Body cameras, yes, but not even tasers. So
Yeah, I mean, you're raising a lot of interesting points. And
I feel that this issue points.
yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, I mean, it shows, doesn't it, that just nothing has been learnt from other comparable tragic sequences of events that we've seen already several times this year.
Yes, that's true. It's also a result of the reactions of police unions. In this specific case, the chief of the police union has lamented the trauma that the police officers have suffered shooting at this person. So they are the ones who deserve empathy, as well as the policemen who got injured as a result of the protests ensuing the killing of Mr. Wallace. So again, this is a structural issue that the nation has to really deal with and to come to terms with regarding its law enforcement.
Let's just look at the sort of the political dimension to all of this, because after all, we're 6 days away from Election Day in America, and the situation in Philadelphia was already tense before Monday's shooting happened. And this is, of course, a battleground state. And I'm just wondering how you see events unfolding and to whose advantage you see this playing out, because, of course, there is, unfortunately, a political dimension to this, and it is, of course, first and foremost, the tragedy.
There always is a number of there are repercussions, politically speaking, necessarily. Now, this is not going to change the candidates' communication strategies. You will always have Joe Biden saying that he feels that people should not die at the hands of police when they're suffering mental breakdowns or bipolar disorder crises. And on the other hand, you will have President Trump always saying that he's the president of law and order, and that when looting starts, shooting has to start as well. It is true that Philadelphia is not the entirety of Pennsylvania either. You will always have a stronger focus on those counties that can flip to one side or the other. And this is where there is cause for concern in case the early mail-in ballots are not counted or are discounted. And there is challenge at the end of Election Day.
Okay, well, we're going to have to leave it there. We're out of time. But thank you very much indeed for speaking to us, Professor Cecile Coquet Mokoko. Thank you very much indeed.